despite the fact of I hope I look younger than I actually am, or I think I do, even if it's only in my own head. I kind of have divided my career into 4 decades. This being I hesitate to add, the fourth decade is the one that we're about to begin, so the 2020s. And the first one was in the 90s. I was in California, in Silicon Valley, and I was involved in a startup called Baystone Software, which was a CRM startup at the time. It was around the time that Salesforce was born. There was a sales.com and some other stuff going on. But there was also the dot-com boom, which was going on in Silicon Valley and San Francisco at the time. And being part of that when I was in my 20s was just very exciting. And I was a very early employee in this company called Baystone, which was founded from some of the guys who had come from Sun Microsystems, and they decided they wanted to start this company. And it was, it was well funded and it was very exciting. And being part of that gave me a buzz for being in a startup and looking to have a very ambitious growth agenda in a startup. And also culturally, I don't think Pulse is a million miles. It's a million miles in a lot of ways, but in culturally, it's not a million miles from that culture there that was kind of typical of Silicon Valley culture, if you like, jeans and t-shirt rather than the suits on the East Coast, was kind of the joke. But it was, so that startup gave me a buzz for startups, and I've kind of never lost that at some level. So that startup was the first one. Didn't particularly succeed. There was a bit of a success in terms of it got sold to a company called Remedy. But I came back to Ireland then after the dot-com bubble blew up. I think just as I left, it was blowing up, or just after I left. But in the noughties, then I started another company with a colleague, our friend, called Delta Index, and it was an online platform for trading the financial markets. It was financial spread betting and CFDs, and that we took from, two guys on I think it was the 11th of September 2001. We put €1 in each. And built up a platform and built up a population of clients that were using it, and it became a very exciting thing. And we were, the buzz there was just phenomenal on the way up. And then we hit something that was called in, I think, the history books, the financial crash of 2007 seemed to go on for an awful long time, and that didn't do very well for our business. So we had a very I learned more in the next 2 or 3 years as we grappled with the challenges of the financial crash than I did in the previous 6 or 7 years on the way up. And so that was Delta Index, which was the online trading platform in the noughties. And then the tens was, what did we do in the tens? I was in a company called MoneyMate, and part of MoneyMate Group, we created another platform called Silverfinch, where I was working very closely with one of the co-founders of Pulse, John Dowdle, in building this platform where basically it began around Solvency II, the regulation, and asset managers sharing regulatory data in a confidential, secure way with insurer clients who had to use the data for regulatory filings. And it grew beyond that initial regulation to others. But that platform, in the end, I think there was, hundreds of clients, asset management, insurers, wealth managers, and others on the platform exchanging data, and literally tens of thousands of products that they were exchanging data in relation to. And that was very exciting to grow that and develop that business. And then ultimately MoneyMate got bought by CSS. And post that, John Dowdle and I exited CSS and kind of brought us to where we are today, which is we wanted something new to do, and we knew John Ellis from working with him when we were at CSS or MoneyMate, and got together and ultimately decided there was something interesting in this idea that emerged from a conversation that came from something that John Ellis had been doing, and that now is Pulse. So 4 decades, Delta, Baystone in the noughties, or the 90s, Delta in the noughties, MoneyMate, CSS in the tens, and now Pulse Market for the 2020s. That's the potted business career history. The only thing I'll add to that is that I did a computer science degree originally, and was originally a computer programmer for a year or two. But I've left that quite a distance behind in terms of active programming, though I'm very involved with development teams all the way through.